Imagine having enough money to cover rent, pay down debt, save for a vacation, and still treat yourself every single month without tracking every receipt. Sounds impossible? It isn't. In the next 20 minutes, I'll show you a simple, realistic budget system that busy people actually use. These are folks who don't want to live inside a spreadsheet, but they do want control over their money. No complicated rules, no guilt, just something you can set up tonight and actually stick to. Here's the truth. You don't need a finance degree, a fancy app, or perfect spending habits to build a budget that works. You need one simple structure, a few practical rules, and the honesty to follow them. That's it. This method fits real life. It works with irregular paychecks, kids, late nights, and the occasional impulse buy. It bends around you instead of forcing you to change everything overnight. Over the next 17 to 22 minutes, we'll break this system into 8 clear parts. First, your mindset, then your money snapshot. After that, your income and the bills you must pay. We'll cover a 50-30-20 inspired split, tuned for the real world. Then we'll set your goals in order, build a buffer for emergencies, automate the boring stuff, and finish with the part most budgets forget, keeping it human. Along the way, I'll give you exact steps to set this up. I'll share examples you can copy word for word. And I'll show you quick fixes for when things go off track, because they will sometimes, and that's okay. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to start. Ready? Let's go. Section 1. Before we touch a single number, we have to fix something more important. Your headspace. Because here's the thing. Most budgets don't fail because of bad math. They fail because of how we feel about them. So a realistic budget starts with 3 simple beliefs. The first one, a budget is a tool, not a punishment. Think of it like a map, not a cage. A map doesn't tell you where you can't go. It shows you the best way to get where you want. Your budget works the same way. It protects your choices. It doesn't take them away. The second belief, small consistency beats big drama. We love the idea of a dramatic money makeover. Cut everything, change overnight, fix it all in one weekend. But that almost never lasts. Real change works more like dripping water. One small win, repeated again and again, slowly carves out something powerful. Steady beats flashy every time. The third belief, flexibility is built in. Life is messy. Cars break down. Kids need shoes. Friends invite you out. A good budget expects this. It leaves room to bend, so one surprise doesn't knock the whole thing over. Now, let me give you a quick mental checklist to lock this in. First, replace I can't with I choose to. Saying I can't afford that feels like a door slamming shut, but I'm choosing to put that money somewhere better puts you back in the driver's seat. That small word swap keeps your motivation strong and positive. Second, accept a learning phase. The first 2 months are not a test you pass or fail. They're you, gathering data. You're simply watching where your money actually goes, like a scientist taking notes. If it feels messy at first, that's not failure. That's the work doing exactly what it should. And third, give yourself one guilt-free category. Pick something you genuinely enjoy. Coffee, a streaming service, a small treat, and protect it. A budget you can't live with is a budget you won't keep. That one joyful corner is what makes the whole plan livable. Get these beliefs right, and everything that follows gets easier. Because once your head is in the right place, the numbers stop feeling scary. They start feeling like freedom. Section 2. Now that your head is in the right place, let's give your money a face you can actually see. We're going to build one simple thing, a one-page money snapshot. Think of this like the dashboard in your car. You don't need to understand the whole engine to drive. You just need a few clear gauges, speed, fuel, temperature, that tell you what's happening right now. Your snapshot does the same job for your money. It's fast to update and hard to ignore. Here's what goes on that page. Start with your net income. That's your real take-home pay. The money that actually lands in your account after taxes. Not what your job says you earn. What you actually get to use. Next, List your non-negotiable bills. These are the must-pays: rent or mortgage, utilities, insurance, and the minimum payments on any debt. These don't move much, and they don't wait. Then add your regular variable essentials. These shift a little month to month, but you can't skip them: groceries, transport, and your phone. Finally, write down your current savings balances and your debts, and next to each debt, note the interest rate. That little number tells you which debts are quietly costing you the most. Now, how do you do this fast, without losing a whole weekend? Simple. Pull the last 2 months of your bank and card statements. You're not reading every single line. You just want the totals for the categories we listed. 2 months gives you a clear, honest average, enough to spot the real pattern. And please, keep it plain. A pen and paper works perfectly, or one single column in a spreadsheet. No multiple tabs, no fancy formulas. The more complicated you make it, the less likely you are to keep it. Let me show you how short this really is. Net income, 300,000. Rent, Thea 90,000. Utilities and phone, Thea 20,000. Groceries, Thea 40,000. Debt minimum, 15,000. That's it. 5 lines, and suddenly your whole money life is sitting in front of you, plain as day. Here's why this matters so much. You can't fix what you can't see. Most people feel stressed about money simply because it's a foggy, scary blur in their heads. This snapshot clears the fog, and once you can see it clearly, you can finally start to steer. Section 3. You've got your snapshot. Now we line your money up with what truly matters. And the question that drives this whole section is simple. What must happen this month, no matter what? Because here's a quiet truth about money. It will always find somewhere to go. If you don't give it a job, it'll wander off on its own. So we're going to give the most important jobs first dibs. Think of it like packing a suitcase. You put the big, essential items in first, the things you absolutely cannot travel without. The small stuff fills the gaps around them. Money works the same way. Cover the big must-pays first, and the rest finds its place. So let's do it step by step. First, list your non-negotiables in order. Housing comes first, a roof over your head. Then utilities, so the lights stay on. Then your debt minimums, because those protect your record and stop late fees. Then food, because you and your family have to eat. That's the order. That's the priority line. Second, subtract those must-pays from your net income. Whatever is left is your available money. That number is the real one, the honest amount you actually have to work with, after the essentials are safe, not your paycheck. This. Now, what if your income jumps around? Maybe you're a freelancer, or you work on commission, or your hours change week to week. Don't panic. We just plan smarter. Look at your last 6 months and figure out a conservative monthly average. Or, to be even safer, plan around your lowest recent month. It feels strict, but here's why it works. If you build your plan on your smallest income, a bigger month becomes a happy bonus instead of a stressful surprise. You're planning for the valley, not the peak. And one quick tip: if your pay is irregular, build what I call a pay smoothing buffer. We'll cover exactly how in section 6, but the idea is simple. Instead of riding every up and down, you let money pool in one spot, and then pay yourself a steady, stable amount each month, like giving yourself a regular salary, even when business is bumpy. Smooth income leads to a calm mind, and a calm mind makes far better money decisions. So get your essentials covered, find your available money, and suddenly you're not guessing anymore. You're in control. Section 4. Here's where most budgets fall apart. People try to sort their money into 20 tiny categories, then drown in the detail, and quit by week 2. So we're going to do the opposite. We're going to keep it beautifully simple. We'll use just 3 buckets: essentials, flex, and forward. Picture 3 jars on your kitchen counter. Every time money comes in, you pour it into these 3 jars. That's it. No 20-tab spreadsheet. 3 jars. Let me show you what goes in each one. The first jar is essentials, and it takes 55 to 65% of your income. This is everything you must pay to live: housing, utilities, groceries, transport, and health. These are the non-negotiables we talked about. They get the biggest pour because they keep your life running. The second jar is flex, and it gets 15 to 25%. This is where life actually happens. Eating out, subscriptions, shopping, a movie, a night out with friends. This jar is on purpose. It's not waste. It's joy with a boundary around it. The third jar is forward, also 15 to 25%. This jar builds your future, savings, paying off debt above the minimums, and investments. Every coin in here is you, sending help to your future self. Now, why does this work so well? Because it does two things at once. It protects your living costs, but it also forces you to actually set money aside for tomorrow. Most people only handle today and hope tomorrow sorts itself out. This won't let you skip your future. And that flex jar? It's the secret weapon. By giving yourself permission to spend, you stop the guilt and the big blowouts. People don't break their budgets with planned fun. They break them with the spending they swore they wouldn't do, then felt ashamed about. Flex fixes that. Now, a real-life adjustment. If your essentials are high, say your rent eats a big chunk, you can shrink the forward jar for a while. That's okay. Just aim to grow it back as things improve. Progress, not perfection. Let me make it concrete. Net income, and 300,000. Essentials, the 180,000. That's 60%. Flex, the 145,000. That's 15%. Forward, the 175,000. That's 25%. Three numbers, one clear plan. That's the whole engine right there. Simple enough to remember, strong enough to change your life. Now let's decide exactly where that forward money should go. Section 5. So your forward jar has money in it. Now comes a question that trips up almost everyone. Where does it go first? Save it, kill debt, invest it, try to do all three at once? Here's the trap. When you try to push money in every direction at the same time, it spreads too thin and nothing really moves. So instead, we're going to climb one step at a time. I call it the win ladder. A ladder only works one rung at a time. You don't leap to the top. You climb. So we'll set 3 goals in order, and we fund them in sequence, one rung fully before the next. Rung 1, a short-term buffer. Just 1 month of expenses. This comes first because it's fast to build and it gives you instant breathing room. It's the small cushion that stops every surprise from becoming a crisis. Rung 2. High-interest debt. Once your buffer is set, you point your extra money here, like aiming a fire hose at the hottest flame. High-interest debt is the money that quietly bleeds you the most, so knocking it out frees up real cash. Rung 3. Long-term savings and investments. This is the future you're building toward. Retirement, a house down payment, true wealth. Once the first 2 rungs are handled, this is where the magic of time takes over. Now here's how you apply it. You pour your forward money into the top rung until it's full. Only then do you move down to the next one. 1 rung at a time, always. Let me show you with real numbers. Say your forward money is 75,000. The first is A2,000 goes to your buffer every month until you hit 200,000 total. Once that buffer is full, the next calm 30,000 shifts over to attack your high-interest debt, and whatever remains goes into your investments, quietly growing in the background. So why just one ladder? Why not chase everything? Because every choice you make costs mental energy. Decide, 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 and you get tired and give up. That's called decision fatigue, and it's a real budget killer. One clear ladder removes the guessing. You always know exactly where the next coin goes. And there's a bonus. Filling that first rung fast gives you a quick win, and quick wins build momentum. That momentum carries you up the rest of the ladder. One step, then the next. That's how real wealth gets built. Section 6. Let's talk about that buffer, because it's the single most calming tool in your whole money life. But I want to change how you think about it first. Most people hear emergency fund, and picture this huge, scary mountain, 3 to 6 months of savings. They look up at that mountain, feel overwhelmed, and never even start climbing. So we're not starting with the mountain. We're starting with one small, reachable hill. Your buffer is your stability tool. Think of it like the shock absorbers on a car. The road of life is full of bumps and potholes. Without shocks, every bump rattles your teeth. With them, you glide right over. That's what a buffer does for your money. It absorbs the bumps so they don't shake your whole life. So here are the rules. Your first target is just 1 month of essentials, not 3 months, not 6. 1. We're not building the full emergency fund yet. We're building a real, reachable cushion you can actually hit. You can always grow it later. Next, where do you keep it? Somewhere easy to reach, but not too easy to spend. An easy access savings account works perfectly, or a separate wallet or bank sub-account, sitting just off to the side, out of sight from your everyday money. And how do you fund it? You temporarily borrow from yourself. Divert a slice of your flex or forward money for a short stretch, say 25% of your flex bucket for 8 weeks. It's a small, short sacrifice that buys you lasting peace. Now, if your income is irregular, this buffer matters even more. Once you can, aim to keep 2 to 3 months of essentials. And here's the key shift. When a slow month comes, you lean on your buffer instead of reaching for credit. The buffer covers the gap. No debt, no panic, just smooth sailing through the dip. Let me ground it in numbers. Say your essentials are 180,000. So your first buffer target is 180,000, 1 full month. Save 1 to 2,500 each month, which is half of your flex bucket, and you'll reach that target in 8 months. 8 months. That's it. And on the other side of those 8 months, you become a different kind of person. The kind who doesn't flinch when life throws a surprise. The kind who sleeps soundly, knowing they're covered. Section 7. Here's where everything gets easier. Up to now, your budget needs you to remember, decide, and act. But willpower runs out. Life gets busy. So we're going to take you out of the equation. We're going to automate. Think of automation like setting up dominoes. You do the work once, lining them up carefully, and then one tap sends the whole chain falling on its own. Your payday is that first tap. After that, your money moves itself, exactly where it should go, without you lifting a finger. So let's set up the moves. The moment your pay lands, recurring transfers fire automatically. A set amount goes to your essentials account for bills. Another amount slides into your buffer and savings. A third goes to debt repayment. And whatever remains drops into your spending account. It all happens in seconds while you're still asleep. Next, turn on auto pay for your minimum bills and your critical subscriptions. This one quietly saves you money because late fees are a tax on forgetfulness, and you're done paying that tax. Then, set just one simple reminder, an app or a calendar alert for a quick monthly budget check. Not to do heavy work, just to glance, nod, and adjust if needed. Now let me give you a clean structure to make this run smoothly. I call it the 3-account approach. Account A is for bills and essentials. Your auto-pays come out of here, so your must-pays are always covered. Account B is for your buffer and savings. Money auto-transfers in every payday, growing quietly in the background where you won't be tempted to touch it. Account C is your spending and flex account. This is the one you actually use day to day. Here's the beauty of it. When you check this account, the number you see is truly yours to spend. No mental math, no guilt. If it's there, you're free to use it. Now, maybe your bank won't let you open 3 accounts. No problem at all. Most banking apps today let you create labeled sub-savings or little envelopes inside your main account. Same idea, one login. You can name them bills, buffer, and spending, and the system works just as well. The whole point is this: a budget that depends on you remembering will eventually fail. A budget that runs on its own will quietly carry you for years. Set it up once, then let it work for you. Section 8. We've reached the final piece, and it's the one most budgets forget. Because a budget isn't a thing you build once and walk away from. It's a living thing. And living things need a little care to stay healthy. So once a month, you give yours a quick checkup, just 15 to 30 minutes. Think of it like a doctor's visit for your money. Short, simple, and it catches small problems before they grow big. Here's what you do. First, check your actual spending against what you planned, across your 3 buckets. Did the real numbers match the plan, or did they drift? Then ask yourself 3 honest questions. Did my essentials change? Did my flex spending overshoot? And are there any new priorities pushing into my life? Next, you gently reallocate for the month ahead. Say you went over on flex this month. No drama. Just trim next month's flex by a small slice, or pull from forward for 1 month only to balance it out. Small steering, not a hard slam on the brakes. Now let me give you a few rules to keep this human, because a budget you hate is a budget you'll quit. The first is the one-time reset. Once a quarter, allow yourself a planned bigger treat, not a slip, a scheduled reward. It's like a long hike where you stop at the top to enjoy the view. That pause is what gives you the energy to keep climbing. The second rule, if one category keeps overshooting, month after month, listen to it. That's data talking. Either bump the category up to match your real life, or find a cut that feels fair instead of punishing. Force never lasts. Honesty does. And the third rule, my favorite, celebrate your wins. Hit a buffer milestone, clear a debt, stay on target 3 months in a row, mark it. Reward yourself with a small flex splurge. Your brain remembers what gets rewarded, and a rewarded brain keeps showing up. Because at the end of the day, this was never really about spreadsheets or percentages. It was about building a life that feels calm, free, and fully yours. You now have the whole system: mindset, snapshot, priorities, the simple split, the win ladder, your buffer, automation, and this gentle monthly check. You can set it up tonight. And the version of you a year from now, they'll be so glad you did. Closing sames. So here's exactly what to do right now. Fast, simple, and real. No theory. Just 4 steps you can knock out tonight. Step 1. Grab your last 2 months of statements. Write down your net income and your non-negotiables. That's it to start. Just get the honest numbers out of your head and onto the page. Step 2. Build your 1-page snapshot, then work out your 3-bucket split: essentials, flex, and forward. Pour your income into those 3 jars on paper and watch your whole money life take shape in front of you. Step 3. Pick your first win ladder goal, your buffer, and schedule an automated transfer for payday. This is the big one. The moment you automate that first transfer, your plan stops being an idea and starts being real. Step 4. Drop a 20 to 30-minute reminder on your calendar for a monthly review. One small recurring date that keeps the whole thing alive. Do those 4 things tonight, and you'll have the full skeleton of a budget that fits a real life. Not some perfect, imaginary one. Everything else just builds on that frame. Think of it like planting a tree. The best time was years ago. The second best time is right now, tonight. So plant it. Future you will be sitting in the shade, grateful you did. If this helped you see your money a little more clearly, subscribe. I share simple money systems built for busy, real lives, not finance experts living in spreadsheets. Tap the like button too. That's how you tell the algorithm you want more practical, no-nonsense content like this. And do me one favor, drop a comment and tell me, what's your biggest money frustration right now? I read these, and I'll respond to a few personally. New videos drop every week. See you in the next one.